It's MC Monte in the place to be. Welcome to the adventures of MC Monte. This series is all about building the Saba sword. I got 3 videos coming your way to teach you how I built this White Ranger Saba sword. Yeah. I know it's been a long time, but I'm back. Did you miss me? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a video to build to. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I built Saba, White Ranger Saba sword, using EVA foam. I've included a free template to go along with this video, so check the description and grab that link and download the template so you can make your very own White Ranger Saba sword. This is a long video, so we're going to get right into it. As usual, everything you need is listed in the description below. Gather your supplies and let's create your very own Saba sword. As usual, start by printing out your pattern and taping the pieces together. I've included a link to the pattern in the description. You're going to trace this onto EVA foam. You can use 4 or 6 millimeter EVA foam. You need 3. You need 2 that stops right here on this part of the sword, and you need 1 that goes in the middle. That's going to be the entire length of the sword. And then you need to cut out 2 pieces of the blade as well, like so. I'm going to start by smoothing everything out with the heat gun, making sure everything lays flat so I can eventually sandwich my pieces together. And I'm cutting out the detail piece. This is the center piece, the piece that's going to be in the middle, that gets sandwiched in between everything. This is the part of the pattern that needs to be the entire length of the pattern. I'm going to put some PVC in the handle so that it's sturdy and it feels like I'm holding a real weapon. So what I'm doing is heating it up with the heat gun, and I'm going to flatten it out. First, I'm going to curve it a little bit to match the curve of the handle, and then I'm going to step on it and flatten it out. So I'm getting the sizing proper that I need, and then I'm having my partner help me by stepping on it as I heat it with the heat gun so we can flatten it out. Then I'm measuring, and I actually cut a good chunk off of this. I'm using PVC and a PVC cutter to do this part. And now I have the size I need, and I'm going to trace and cut out that part of the EVA foam so that my PVC is the center of the handle. First, I'm going to start construction of the blade. I'm going to put the blade pieces together. I'm just using my hot glue gun and special hot glue that's formulated specifically for EVA foam. If you haven't heard me talk about this glue before, I'll make sure it's a description in the link so you can check it out and use it for yourself. It's really great for EVA foam. And then I'm doing the same thing on the other side, and this gives me the detail of the blade. And now I'm going to sandwich my blade into position. And now I'm gluing my PVC into position. And I'm putting on the center layer of everything. There's 3 layers in total. Sorry, I keep putting my head in the way. I didn't realize I was leaning over so much and getting in front of the camera. Now I'm gluing the last layer into position. So as you can see, there are going to be 3 layers that you glue. bottom, middle, and top. And after that's all done, I use my heat gun and smooth everything out. Now I'm going to start working with some details from the pattern. I'm cutting out a few of the details for Saba's head / Saba's helmet. And I'm using those details to create the different elements that goes on Saba's helmet. So I cut out this pattern and I mark where it needs to go and I glue it into place. And then I cut a thin strip for the detail of Saba's helmet. And I'm going to continue creating these small details based on the pattern. So next I'm using this detail to make the next template to go on Saba on both sides. So it's about 3 or 4 layers of Saba's helmet that I create all together. So I keep using the same process. I cut off the element of the template and I glue it to both sides. And I keep this up until Saba's helmet is complete. So now I'm covering the center with a strip of 2mm EVA foam to make Saba's helmet complete. I'm using 2mm EVA foam for the helmet detail. And I think this is the final detail that goes on top. It's the side piece. So I'm once again going to trace it onto 2mm EVA foam and glue this on the side of Saba's helmet. So using the picture, the template, I just break down all of the elements that goes into Saba's details on the helmet. And I create all of those elements out of EVA foam. Now this piece, you need to cut out like a piece like this that shapes around the bottom of the sword, right above the blade. And I created this from the template, just seeing what details need to be added and cutting up the details from the template and creating the look in real life. Next, I measured how thick my handle is, and I'm going to cut out using 2mm EVA foam a wrap that goes around the handle of Saba. And after I make sure it's gonna fit, I glue it into place. I wrap it around Saba handle and glue it into place. I had a little extra, so I trimmed it off. Then I'm gonna glue this 2mm EVA foam wrap around the Saba handle. Next, I'm gonna close the gap with the rectangle of 2mm EVA foam. Next, I move on to adding more details onto the handle. So I'm creating a pattern for the bottom of the handle. I need to cut a thin strip of 2mm EVA foam to wrap it around the bottom of the handle. Next, I'm going to score all the details into the Saba sword using my wood burner. You can use a X-Acto knife and a heat gun to open up the cuts, or you can use a wood burner. I'm going to use my wood burner for this. So I'm scoring in all the details based on the template. If you are going to use your wood burner, be careful to etch the design into the EVA foam with a light touch. Don't press too hard. You don't want to burn through the EVA foam or cut too deep. Now I'm using the pen to draw the detailed lines into this part of the Saba sword as a guide, and then I'm pressing and making a bunch of circles to make that texture. I'm just pressing my wood burner into the foam and using the round tip to make the circles to make that texture. Now I'm using a hole puncher and I'm going to press the next detail into the EVA foam. So I'm pressing just deep enough for the detail to come through. And then I take my heat gun and open up those score marks that cut a little bit more. Next, I'm going to use my wood burner to etch in the details on Saba's helmet. Once all your details done, you will have some great progress that should look like this. Next, I'm going to use my hole punch to punch out some eyes for Saba's head. So I punched out 2 small circles and I'm going to use those as eyes. I'm going to use super glue and glue them into place for the eyes. Next, I cut out this little piece to be shaped like an ear, like a tiger's ear. And I'm going to use my wood burner to burn in the ear looking design. And then I'm going to glue those into place with super glue. Those are my ears, my Saba ears. Now I'm going to glue those into place with super glue. And once you do that, you'll have Saba's ears and eyes. Next, I'm going to create the details, the circle details that's on the side of the handle. And I'm going to glue those into place with super glue. I just cut out 2 circles for these detail pieces. Now I'm going to use 2mm EVA foam to create the trim that goes all around. So this detail really makes the Saba sword pop. So I'm going to glue this trim all around with super glue. And I'm going to cut off the excess, and I'm going to continue this process everywhere that Saba sword has this trim. After all the trim is done, it's time to make the power coin. So now I'm using my White Ranger power coin template and cutting out the coin out of 2mm EVA foam and gluing all the elements together to make the power coin. You need to make 2, so you have 1 for each side. So you just make a White Ranger power coin. You make 2 White Ranger power coins. You're going to trace where they go in the center and glue them into position. After I put the power coin in place, I'm going to cover up the sides and the raw edges with 2mm EVA foam to make everything look smooth, and then put trim around the White Ranger power coins. I'm using 2mm EVA foam for all the edges. And after I put trim around the White Ranger power coin, all the construction, the building of the Saba sword is complete. And there you have it. One step closer to having your own White Ranger Tiger Power Saba sword. The building process is complete, and in the next video, I'm going to show you how I painted Saba. And then the video after that, I'm going to show you how to construct your very own holster to hold Saba on your belt when you're cosplaying as the White Ranger. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up, hit that like button, and subscribe. Turn on those notifications so you get notified anytime I post a new video or tutorial. Also, be sure to show me some love on social media. Follow me on Instagram. 2 more videos to go in this series. We're going to paint Saba, then we're going to make the holster. Always remember, adventure awaits. So get out into the world and explore. And may Saba and the power protect you. Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!